Welcome to my thoughts while standing in the queue. The other day, I was standing in line at a bar waiting to get served, and I noted, to my amazement, there were loads and loads of young girls there with their mothers instead of their mates, and I think that's a wonderful thing. I think it's good for mothers to go out with their daughters because they'll understand them more, and for daughters to go out with their mothers because then they'll realize they're not monsters, but real people with real likes and real dislikes. I think it's great. My mother and I didn't have that kind of relationship. When we went out, my mother decided where we went, how we went, and how long we stayed. My father drove the car. My sister and I sat in the back seat and quarreled. My mother was a very small woman, and people barely noticed her when we walked into a room, but we knew she was in charge. We knew we couldn't leave until she said it was okay, and we arrived only because she permitted us to. I'll never forget the time that we all went out for dinner as a family. My father wanted to go to a new fish place that had just opened on Superior Street, and I wanted to go to the steakhouse that they had just opened on Erie Street. My mother wanted to go to her friend Helen's cafe because she loved her friend Helen, and so we all went to the cafe. We walked into the cafe, and my mother and Helen sat for some time and gossiped about who did what to whom and why they did it, while my sister, my father, and I waited politely at the table. My sister was so hungry she started gnawing the end of the tablecloth, and finally, my mother said, "I think maybe it's time for us to see the menus, Helen." So Helen brought the menus, and we all looked at them. And we all decided what we wanted to eat. The menu was very limited because this was a cafe and it wasn't where we wanted to go. But my mother did want to go there, and she was very happy with the offering. She said to my father, "What is it that you'll have, IR?" And he said, "Well, I think I'll have the porterhouse steak, and I'll have a baked potato and a tossed salad." She said, my mother said, "You know that you can't handle that kind of rich food. You're going to be up all night with indigestion, and I'll be up all night taking care of you. No. Helen, he'll have a poached egg on toast and give him some tea." My sister said, "Okay, I would like that steak, and I would like some French fried potatoes, and I would like chocolate cake for dessert." Said my mother. "Do you want to get so fat that we can't even cram you into ready-made dresses?" "No, indeed. You've got to watch your figure now, Marcia D., or you're going to be big as a house before you're 12 years old." "She'll have a bowl of soup and some crackers, Helen, and be easy on the butter. Don't bring any butter with the crackers." And then they turned to me. I said, "Well, I think I'd like the steak, and I'd like a baked potato, and maybe I'd have some vegetables." My mother said, "Absolutely not. You know that eating red meat gives you gas. You know it, and I don't think I could stand that. Not tonight. We're all clustered into a close area. I just couldn't bear it. Give her a chicken breast, please, Helen, and be careful with the gravy. She can't handle it." And Helen said, Okay, I think I've got all the orders straight now. IR's going to have the poached egg, Marcia's going to have the soup, and Lynn Ruth is going to have chicken breast. What are you going to have, Ida?" And she said, "Well, I'll have the porterhouse steak, and I'll have a baked potato, and I'll have a chocolate cake for dessert. And thank you very much." So you can see that there was no point in my going clubbing with my mother because she would make all the decisions for me. However, if we had lived in this day and age, I could have taken my mother to a rave, and I could have said to her, "Listen, lady, put in your earplugs. This is the way we do it now. It's a new world." And that's not a bad thing, is it?